I am the LV girl. This is the It bag. We're gonna do a recap here and everyone can follow along and you'll see parts of it and we're just super excited. C'est bon, yeah? I'm Liana Satenstein.
And I'm Eden Pritikin.
And today we are doing something very exciting. We just saw the most fabulous show of the season. It was Spring 2025, Louis Vuitton. We're going to do a recap here and everyone can follow along and you'll see parts of it and we're just super excited. Please let us know what you think in the comments. What I love about this, and I love that we're together because we're actually friends in real life. Yeah, jinx. We also finish each other's sentences. Which
We're
is
like
pretty
sisters.
fun. Yeah. And I actually met Eden about 4 years ago. And I met Eden because you are a huge Nicolas collector. You're like the most major Nicolas collector.
I'm a huge Nicolas collector and just an all-around super fan.
Yeah, and at the time, you had over 100 pieces, from what I remember.
Just Runway, like the best of the best classic Nicolas. I absolutely adore his work.
The trunks on the runway.
Yeah.
I was shook. I mean, some of them were, antique.
Right.
Some of them were very new.
Right.
And then I love how they all fit together almost like a Tetris game. So, and that's incredible to me because they're obviously manufactured.
Yeah.
So when you have your 1,000 trunks in your home, they look like this.
And it was just a beautiful ode to the heritage of the brand. The trunk is so synonymous with the Louis Vuitton brand and the history of the house. And it was so amazing to see the way that they lined the runway. And also, what Nicolas said before the show about sort of the hardness of the runway versus the softness of the clothes and the fluidity of the clothes and sort of that contrast between the two. And the confluence of those things together really just brought out a certain energy that you could feel as a guest at the show.
When I think of Nicolas, that's what I think of because, like you said, hard and soft, and it's every single direction that you look in and how he designs, like, down to the clothes. And then also silhouette. Mm-hmm. And what I love about this is he had those big, massive, incredible shoulders, the sharp waist. We all love what Nicolas does for the waist. It's like a waist man. And then, but the fabric was soft.
Right.
And it's like soft power, I think was another note.
Yeah. And you can see it in each of his seasons leading up to this one, sort of the way that he uses contrast, whether it be layering prints on top of each other or mixing materials together, which we saw in this collection, the silk robes over the tweed dresses. Again, an example of that hard and soft used together. So Mika opening the show, you could just feel the energy. You could see, usually when models walk down the runway, their walks are pretty restrained. They're told, walk in a straight line, get to the end of the runway, turn, and come right back. But this time you really could see in their walks, they were feeling the clothes. And even with the cast of models that were out there, Nicolas had his classic girls. He had Emma Ruda, he had Masha Skakova, Chu Wong was in the cast. And these girls, each season, the way that Nicolas returns to them, it's a really beautiful relationship between the two. He trusts the girls to really work the clothes and to sell them off their back. And they trust Nicolas to put them in something that they can feel confident in and they can advocate for with integrity. And you could just see all of these new faces, the way that they were walking with such confidence. Mm-hmm. It was really inspiring to watch and great to see.
And I also love that you said, you can really see the personality of the girls when they walk, because I was reading a quote from Nicolas from, way back when, and he did say, I want to make pieces that you're going to be able to wear and interpret in your own way, and you can mix it in with your wardrobe.
Right.
And I think that's beautiful because that's how women dress. Right. I don't go out in a full look. I mean, if I did, it would be Louis Vuitton, of course. But, I like to mix and match. And I feel like, I can wear this with a pair of vintage jeans. I can wear this with a vintage top, and it's a beautiful thing. And I love that he understands that's how women dress. And you can see that. I mean, those incredible amazing jackets with the huge shoulders. We're watching the show right now as they're coming down the runway. And I'm imagining how I'm going to wear each piece in the look.
And let's talk about those opening jackets, because my first impression when I saw them coming down the runway was it was the same silhouette that he referenced in his Spring/Summer 2022 collection. And this idea of Renaissance, that was what he opened with. And, you know, Renaissance can take on different meanings. When referencing a Renaissance man or a Renaissance woman, it means someone who's skilled in multiple tasks versus, you know, referencing a Renaissance as a noun. It means kind of an overhaul. It's a movement.
Eden and I had like a 1 a.m. conversation about Renaissance because, you know, I approached it from the, you know, traditional aesthetic way. I go, yeah, of course, you know, the big shoulders, the waist, the embroidery, you know, there is an ode to the Renaissance there. And of course, so I took it very literally. And then you, of course, you dig in, Eden.
There's always a meaning underneath, you know, the inspirations of the collection. And having been at Louis Vuitton for a decade now, he can sort of close one chapter and open another. And in that term, Renaissance means, you know, this movement towards a new aesthetic, a new inspiration. And that's really what we saw with this collection here.
I agree. I always agree with what Eden says. I mean, most 99.9% of the time.
Right.
You make a good point.
Yeah.
You know, here and there. Well, you know what I love that they were paired with were the pedal pushers and the Capris. And you know what? Nicolas, he's a pant man. The guy knows his way around a fun pant. And those were incredible. The prints. And then there were the embroidered lace ones. And then the other ones had this incredible pleat. And it was almost like a peasant Capri.
It was a striped jersey with a knee pad built in, and you had the little buttons going up the side as well. Just so classic. Who doesn't love a good pedal pusher, to be honest?
I know, and I feel like after this, we're really going to see a resurgence of Capris and pedal pushers after this show. I mean, he made them so fun. I'm actually watching a pair go down the runway right now, and the silhouette is incredible because it gives you an incredible shape, and then he nails it with that square shoulder. It is sharp. It is there. It is sturdy.
And no one does a sharp line like Nicolas. He loves his sharp lines. And in this collection in particular, they showed up in different ways. Usually with Nicolas collections, we see it in the cut of the fabric. But this time, you know, we saw it in the shoulder. We saw it with the stripes. A lot of color blocking in this collection as well. And just the lines showed up in different ways that aren't necessarily so obvious to the eye upon first reflection, but they're there. They're just taking on a different form.
Whenever there's that detail tab on Vogue Runway, I am first one there. I'm zoomed in. Because, I mean, really, though, and the thing is with Louis Vuitton is there's just incredible detail put into everything. And, you know, he does it anyway. But, I mean, it's the heritage in the house. So it's really nice to see it all come out on the runway.
And it's a craftsmanship as well. I think they call it savoir-faire. Yeah, which is a major inspiration for the house as well.
These are also French lessons for our American viewers out there, so stay tuned for more. French 101. Of course, there were the last 5 looks. This is another amazing zoom-in moment. These were paintings by Laurent Grasso, artist, and these beautiful landscapes that were like almost had like a futuristic tinge. He focuses a lot on uncertainty.
So we saw these prints come to life in these looks. One was featured on the trunk. One was featured under a jumpsuit. And then the last 5 looks, these gorgeous, you could see the full prints on the tops with these gorgeous tassel skirts on the bottom. And what I really love about this particular collaboration is the sense of surrealism that Laurent Grasso's work evokes. Nicolas is no stranger to surrealism. We've seen it in his previous collections, whether it be Spring/Summer 2023 with the oversized zippers. And you can see references of sort of a modern surrealism movement within Laurent Grasso's work. And also different elements of surrealism present themselves throughout this collection. One example in particular is look 9 with the tailoring flue on top and these beautiful sort of rose petal shoes on the bottom with these feather tassels coming out of them. And again, another instance of contrast within the collection, tailoring flue on top and this explosion at the bottom.
Nicolas historically is a man of bags. He really knows how to make a good one. When I saw the Rider bag this morning, I like lost my mind. This is the it bag. Are you watching this? Are they all watching this on here? This is the it bag. I am obsessed. I might have to take one from LV headquarters and he just might never see me again. But at least I'll have the Rider bag. This is a Nicolas bag.
Right.
And it's also derived from a leather jacket, which I love. And like the buckles are on there and it's just such a beautiful shape and you can really stuff it, which I love. I'm a girl of the city. So, you know, I'm always stuffing my bags, but this is a beautiful shape and classic. And just that curve is also, there you go. Tailored flue.
Right.
Once again, but now in bag form. So, and now we'll welcome a special guest, House Ambassador Felix, who's going to tell us his thoughts on the collection, his favorite pieces, and more.
I was very excited to see how the runway was filled with Louis Vuitton boxes that had the monograms and seeing everything else black. But then in the middle, you can see the Louis Vuitton in a bit of cursive writing. As the music was coming out, it matched so well and it vibed so well with the first piece that came out. It gave such a vibrant yet clean look, and you can see how there were colorful points and details of the pattern coming out. And yet he had points of the accessories hanging out, filled in with the black piece with the hat as well that gave such confident and slick. It was very cool. Also pieces that were very vibrant, astonishing, and just colorful in every way. It was amazing. It was great.
Thank you so much, Felix, for weighing in. We loved hearing that. Did you notice anything, like any past Nicolas references? Please let us know in the comments. His work within prints, it's incredible. I mean, this is obviously a print-friendly house.
I mean, prints can be very polarizing at times. They can, you know, people gravitate towards different prints depending on their mood or their style. And there was really a print for everyone in this collection. There were stripes, there was color blocking, there were florals, there was plaid with the tweeds, and the way that they were layered together flowed really nicely. There's something about the gymnastics that the eye has to do. If you can recall from Nicolas' Fall/Winter 2019 collection, which was shown in this sort of recreation of the Pompidou in Paris, when that building was built, Nicolas said that, you know, it was very difficult for people to wrap their heads around the construction and the way that this building looked. And he liked the toughness of that idea. He liked what he called the gymnastics of the eye. And the same has to be done with this particular collection. Seeing the way these prints are layered on top of one another, it might not make sense when you see it in your head, but when you see it in real life coming down the runway, they flowed really well together and they just looked like they belonged together. And there was really a print for everyone in this collection. Every season, Nicolas does a rendition of the Petite Malle, and this season, it had the little embellishments on the side of the body. And when I saw it come down the runway, my first reaction to it was it felt like a world traveler going around to all of the different countries and collecting stamps and putting it on the side of her trunk. And Louis Vuitton is a big proponent of, you know, being the brand all about travel. And I thought that was a perfect ode to this girl in this collection who is presumably a world traveler as well. This was a bag that Nicolas created when he joined the house. This was his first creation that he showed in his first runway collection. And again, it's the 10th anniversary of this bag. It's a really special moment to see how successful it's been and how every season he does a different iteration of the bag. This season we have the Heritage Petite Malle, we have the Icon Trio, which is modeled after the runway as well. And also I hear that there's going to be an exhibition coming up featuring 100 versions of this Petite Malle bag.
We need to get ourselves on that list.
I need to see it. I must see it.
Yeah, we must see it for research purposes, you know? But there's one bag, there's one Petite Malle that I'm obsessed with too, and it is one that is covered in 29,000 crystals.
Wow.
It's beautiful, it's blinding, it's gorgeous, it's classique. Really, though, it's a testament to the popularity. I mean, it's an incredible idea to, you know, shrink the trunk and make it into bag form. And he could do that, really.
It's an ode to the world traveler. It's an ode to the heritage, the central DNA of the Louis Vuitton bag that Nicolas does so well.
And this redefines how I think of the chic Parisian woman, because, you know, you think of chic Parisian women and you think of tweed, of course, but he completely spun it, and last night we had dinner and we were talking about the necklaces for probably a good 30 minutes. The necklaces were beautiful, and you made a great observation this morning about the rose petals on there.
It felt like a lei. It felt like something that you would wear to a celebration. And again, tying back into the energy of the collection, it felt like a celebration. And I just loved seeing those lays. They were completely unexpected, but they made sense at the same time. And just seeing the way that necklaces layered on top of one another, it's like when you're leaving the house and you're grabbing that one last thing to tie your look together, and you just throw on these necklaces and they complete the look. It was really nice to see them coming down the runway, the way that they moved on the body and the way that they tied in, especially those looks that have so much going on with the prints, and they just tied it all together. I thought the double bag moment coming down the runway was really fun to see the Greenwich bag paired with the slim trunk sparkle bag or the fan bag. You know, it was really a cross between the fun and the functional.
Another bag that I loved too was the Rivage. And I love this bag for many reasons. I feel connected to it because it was in the 1999 campaign and it was in epi form. So that delicious, like ridged leather. It's like shiny and chic and it's shaped like this, if you can imagine. It's like that. You can probably see it on the screen after. And the handle is based on a trunk handle.
Right.
And I love that. And now they put it into, it's like in monogram form now. So I love that they revisit these shapes. It's just a beautiful, beautiful, sleek shape. And it's that curve again.
And it's perfect for day to night as well. It's a great bag just to carry with you when you're walking down the street during the day. And it's also the perfect bag that translates to a nice dinner out or a party. It's a great sort of more functional than a clutch, I would say.
Yeah. You know what I love about what LV did with the bags too is that, and you mentioned it earlier, I mean, this was luggage at one point,
Right.
and so they nod to all of the details of the luggage and they infuse it into the bag. So the handles, which let me tell you, those things are strong. Those will also last you forever because it's based off of a luggage handle. Think about hauling that baby. And, you know, it's the handle on, you know, the bag. And then also the fan bag, interestingly enough, was based on a commissioned wardrobe that was a fan from the late 1800s that Louis Vuitton did. And I'm like, that is genius. It's like an Easter egg in the design.
And even taking more elements of the bag and translating them into different leather goods. Let's talk about the shoes. Because those shoes with the leather straps, those were repurposed trunk straps. They're paired with a perfect stiletto heel. I just loved the way that these girls were walking in them. They looked so comfortable. They looked so fun. I loved the studded details on the side. I thought that they paired really well with the collection. And also, again, with the contrast idea, even seeing it coming down the runway now, these printed shoes with the color block dresses or vice versa.
I also loved these shoes that came down the runway because this isn't a classic example of Nicolas contrast. Blunt, square toe, super sharp. That is like the perfect right angle. They need to study that thing at MIT. But around it was like these soft, luscious leather straps that went on top and then they crisscrossed around the ankle. And it was almost like this sensuality meets like
functionality.
Okay. Oh, functionality.
They looked functional. They looked comfortable. You could see it when the girls were walking down the runway. They were having no trouble walking in these shoes. It was a perfect flat shoe. And you could really see that in the movement. They're not stuffy. They're not too structured. They allow for fluidity. They allow for the body to move inside the clothes. And the way that they respond to the body moving and the way that they walk, the way that the dresses were knotted at the side and the skirts and the asymmetrical sleeves of some of the looks really complemented the lifestyle this LV girl lives. I also wanted to touch on the evolution of this collection from the previous fall 2024 collection. You know, that was the 10th anniversary collection. It was really a compilation of Nicolas' greatest hits at Louis Vuitton so far. And we saw the nice sweaters, knitwear done so well, those beautiful skirts, kind of a muted color selection versus this was more of an explosion. It was a really great sort of departure and evolution at the same time. Another thing I noticed was the asymmetry of some of the legs and some of the skirts.
There's many looks that I love. I do have a favorite, and it is look 12.
Yes, I know exactly which one you're talking about.
the big shoulder. It's elongated silhouette, so it hits the upper thigh, and it reminds me of a dinner jacket, and just really delicious 80s oomph. And there's another component that I love about it because it's almost done in that windbreaker style that he does so well, and there's a little bit of like ruching, I believe, and there's the elastic.
Yeah, I mean, this is a silhouette that we've seen from Nicolas so many times, and he's so good at the oversized while also not making it seem like the body is swimming in the clothes, because it's very tailored. The tailoring is very present in this piece. And it's also a nod to the fall winter 2021 collection. If we recall, there was no one at that show. It was during, COVID, when the Louvre was shut down, and we saw the models walking through the halls of the Louvre. And it was these big coats paired with these sort of flowy, flouncy dresses underneath. And even the dress shown in look 12 here is that same sort of silk crepe material that was shown in fall winter 2020 as well, that was layered over another dress, another top underneath. And the movement of those two together pairs so nicely, and you can see through that crepe material to the dress underneath as well.
About the music, so Jamie XX.
Featuring Robin, who is notably an LV girl. She's a Nicolas girl. From the moment the music started, it was just so much fun, and the beat of the music was pumping throughout the runway, and I could just feel the energy and the way that the runway rose off the ground. And it was comprised of the trunks that we see behind us right here. And it was just all around. If you haven't seen the collection yet, I implore you, go watch, go experience the music, feel the energy, because the way those clothes move in motion is just so much better. I always love the soundtracks that Nicolas chooses for his shows, because there's always a hidden message in the lyrics or in the beat or in the artists that sing them. And for this particular song, the lyrics say, give me life, give me life, give me life. And that's exactly what we got from the show. It was life. It was, it was just a blast. That's how I would describe it.
Can you sing the lyrics for us?
I can't sing, no.
I was like, they're gonna shut the live stream off.
Giving me life. Do you hear the lyrics?
Wait, we need to put this mic down, baby. We need to start singing.
Thank you so much to LV for having us. Thank you, Nicolas. This was so special and so much fun to do together.
Thank you for watching. We had such a fun time doing a deep dive of the looks and exploring, and of course, discovery. So we look forward to hearing your comments.
And we hope to see you next season.
You're giving me life.